Today, we're talking about Jonathan Majors being found guilty by a New York jury on assault and harassment of his former girlfriend. Pope Francis is now allowing the Catholic Church to marry same-sex couples, and Apple has been ordered to stop making the new Apple Watch Ultra 2 and the Series 9 because of a patent dispute. We're talking about that and so much more in today's episode. So as of just a few hours ago, Jonathan Major has been found guilty on assault and harassment of his former girlfriend in a domestic dispute. You may know Jonathan Majors from his role in Disney's Marvel franchise and in Creed 3, but now Monday he has been convicted and could serve up to a year in jail. The charges were exactly one count of reckless assault in the third degree and a non-criminal charge of harassment as a violation. He was actually acquitted on one other assault charge and one count of aggravated harassment. Just minutes after the verdict was found out, Marvel announced that they are cutting Jonathan Majors and he will no longer be a part of Marvel, and now they will have to recast for his role. The jury in the case actually deliberated for about 4.5 hours before reaching the verdict, and this has upset so many people on Twitter because a lot of people are saying that they were discriminating against Jonathan Majors. Many people on Twitter were saying that when he wasn't as big on Marvel as he is now, that people didn't want to bring any of these charges against him, but because now he's gotten so famous and that he is an African American, people are trying to say that the jury was biased. The prosecution in their closing remarks said that Jonathan Majors did not hesitate to use physical violence against Miss Jabari in the March dispute when he grabbed her right hand, twisted her arm behind her back, and then hit her in the head, all for taking his phone because she saw him texting another woman. And then Pope Francis has now made one of the most impactful decisions probably in the Catholic Church history and definitely in his tenure. He has now approved blessings for same-sex couples. The Vatican said today on Monday in a landmark ruling by Pope Francis that Roman Catholic priests can administer blessings to same-sex couples as long as they are not part of regular church rituals. The document from the Vatican's doctrinal office, which effectively reversed a declaration the same body had issued in 2021, said such blessings would not legitimize irregular situations, but be a sign that God welcomes all. It should in no way be confused with the sacrament of heterosexual marriage, and it said that priests should decide on a case-by-case basis and should not prevent or prohibit the church's closest to people in every situation in which they might seek God's help through a simple blessing. The Pope hinted that an official change was in the works in October in response to questions put forward by 5 conservative cardinals at the start of October. The church teaches that same-sex attraction is not sinful, but homosexual acts are. Since his election in 2013, Pope Francis has tried to make the more than 1.35 billion member church more welcoming to LGBT people without changing moral doctrine. And then, if you or someone you know eats Quaker Oats oatmeal, or any of their chewy granola bars, you need to check yours because right now you may be eating something contaminated with salmonella. So right now, Quaker Oats has issued yesterday a recall of more than 50 different products that may be linked to salmonella, and I will put the link in the comment section down below. And right now, nobody has actually reported an illness, but they have realized that a lot of their products could be contaminated with salmonella. Quaker Oats said that consumers should throw out any affected products they find in their house and should call Quaker Oats customer service line to request a refund because it's not safe to eat those products any longer. Now, the majority of these products were the Quaker Chewy bars, the Dips chocolate covered bars, and a variety of their oatmeals. It's unclear whether how many cereals it affected or anything, but it's definitely not a good idea if you eat those to continue doing that. Definitely check with that link below and see if the certain expiration date or SKU number matches the one you have in your pantry. And then Ruby Frankie, one of the most famous YouTube family vloggers by now, has actually just pled guilty in her child abuse case. It came out months ago that Ruby Frankie, the owner of 8 Passengers with over 2.3 million subscribers, was abusing her children. Her and her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt, have maintained their innocence over these past few months since all this came out. And today in court, she pled guilty to 6 counts of child abuse. Ruby Frankie said, "With my deepest regret and sorrow for my family and my children, guilty."
With my deepest regret and sorrow for my family and my children, guilty.
Now, Ruby Frankie's husband, Kevin, was at the center of a lot of people's questions on why he wasn't being arrested, but as it turns out, he and Ruby were separated for over 13 months, and he actually formally filed divorce from her last month. Lawyers for Ruby Frankie said in a statement that she is devastated by the news of the divorce filing, but that she understands his reasoning and respects his decision. The statement also noted that she has offered her full cooperation to help reunite their children with Kevin. There's going to be a lot more that comes out about this. Ruby Frankie is actually expected to hear her charges and how long she's going to be possibly in jail in February. But as of right now, it's not looking very good. And then, if you've been thinking about buying the new Apple Watch Ultra 2 or the Series 9, you may only have 1 week left because Apple just announced today that they are being forced to stop producing those and importing them into America because of a patent dispute. Now, Apple has been in a patent dispute with Masimo around the blood oxygen sensor that's on the bottom of the Apple Watch, and right now in the Apple Watch Ultra 2 and the Series 9, those are being claimed that they're using part of Masimo's technology, and the ITC has ruled that Apple must stop importing those into America. Apple is expected by the end of this week to formally stop importing those and selling those on their website, whereas Best Buy and other websites can still continue to sell them until they're out of stock. But by the end of this week, no new shipments of Apple Watch Ultra 2s or Series 9 will be coming into America. So if you're waiting until a few days before Christmas or possibly after for a price drop to get these for somebody for Christmas, you have probably until the end of this week before I would assume that the prices are going to go up because there's not going to be any more coming into America. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about any of these stories we covered today, and make sure you hit that subscribe button to come back tomorrow for another daily dose of the news. Thank you guys.